Nick Lorensen from the Porter Report back here again with another coaching showcase. Today we have Towson head coach Pat Skerry coming off another successful season, probably the best 2-year stretch in Towson history, outside of when they made the tournament back in the 90 back-to-back years. But they made the league semifinals back-to-back years. Towson's much better than they were when Pat Skerry first got there. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you as always. And yeah, man, we're working, we're grinding.
Yes, sir. Back-to-back seasons, like I mentioned. I mean, you've elevated the program since when you first got there. I mean, those first couple years were tough. Longest losing streak in D1 history. It's been talked about over and over again. Now you're at the top of the league every year. What have you been doing over these last 10 years to really elevate your program into the premier basketball program in the Baltimore area?
Well, we're lucky we've had, and I appreciate the compliments. It's obviously a challenge to try to stay up at the top of the league. Especially those teams that are very good programs, Charleston and Wilmington, Hofstra, that don't play football. I mean, historically, if you look at the CAA, a large percent. I think I was looking the other day, maybe 4 or 5 times in the last 23 years. A team that plays football has won the regular season title, so not easy to do. We hope to be in the mix again, but it starts with having good players, support of your administration. I've been lucky. While I've had a lot of athletic directors and presidents, they've all been supportive, and good staff. Right, you got to get guys, and we try to get them better. And this group's certainly no different.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your program, especially those you recruit out of high school, are from the DMV area or just like up north and the lower half of PA. Just talk about how great that is as a program to have all that around you. I mean, you can hit that in the transfer portal as well. You can second time around, you can create those relationships the first time around.
Yeah, I think you have unbelievable grassroots programs and high school programs. Just the quality of the coaching and the teaching, and then some really high academic kids, which we have. And so we're fortunate now that our campus has really exploded over the last decade with growth and buildings and academics. When we get people on campus, they're really impressed. But you can't say enough about like the DMV. I went a couple weeks ago to DeMatha on a Sunday, late June. It's hot as Hades outside, and there's got to be 1,000 people watching a game between Bullis and it was Paul the 6th. And I'm like, man, they just love and appreciate good basketball down here. So that piece is just exciting to kind of be a small part of.
Yeah, shout out Capital Hoops. Every summer they do that DMV live and it's great. And there's always a lot of coaches that are out there. One of those players that played in the DMV, though, you got him last year in the transfer portal. He's going to start developing into more of a leadership role. Is Ryan Conway started at Seton Hall? Just talk about what you've seen over him these last couple of weeks, developing into a leader. Because last year he had some older guys in front of him. Now he is the old guy.
Yeah, you know what? I've been really happy with Ryan. One, he's an incredible worker, and he's a tough kid and an excellent teammate. He's really making strides right now with just his understanding. He's taking care of the ball better. He's learning how to cut, play without the ball, use screens. And, he shot 43% for us from 3 in the conference last year. So he's a guy we have to get him a lot of shots. And that's really what he does. He's a elite shooter, but, he's put a lot of work in this offseason and ready to see him take a big jump.
Yeah, and then this year, one of those guys, you got 2 guys in the transfer portal. First one, Tomiwa Sulaiman from IUP. I mean, out of high school in England, he had a couple D1 offers, ended up going to IUP. Just speak about what you've seen out of him so far, and is he going to be developing into a 6-man role, into a starting role? I know it's still really early.
I mean, it's early. He's certainly a guy that can start and most importantly finish games. He can play inside and out. We've been more impressed with his perimeter game than I initially thought, and he really works at it. He's been well coached. Joe Lombardi is one of the elite coaches in the country at the Division II level. I mean, they've had tremendous success. So he knows how to play. He's been well coached defensively, and like I said, his perimeter game is really evolving. He's got a tremendous body. I'm more upset at myself that we missed on him during the COVID year coming out of high school. He's going to be a really good player for us.
Yeah, and then you got Messiah from Wofford. He kind of reminds me of Cam a little bit. I was really impressed a couple weeks ago when I saw him in practice. Just talk about how big of an addition he was. I mean, he's I think he's potentially an all-league player.
I hope you're right because we're counting on him heavily. He's a good player. You know what he does. It's really going to help us is he finishes with both hands. We like to call it the red zone. He can get around the rim and score with both hands. He can shoot the ball better than people realize, and we're going to let him do that. And he plays really hard, strong. I mean, like really strong hands. Even though we have some guys back, especially with Charles, who's just a terrific player. You can play Messiah and Tomiwa together a lot because of their versatility and how physical they are.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the schedules already come out already. You guys are going to Colorado. You're playing out in Sioux Falls at the Pentagon against South Dakota State, going to Charleston for the Charleston Classic. Just talk about putting together that schedule so far and any more little nuggets.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be hard, but it'll get us ready, especially for the CAA. We're going to play Bryant up at the UBS Arena in Long Island, part of I think a triple header. So we love playing those neutral games. Obviously, playing against a tremendously talented team there in Bryant. So that's going to be 5 neutral games, and it'll be 5 home games and 3 road games. So we're just about done. Obviously, we're fortunate we have a UMass coming into town, led by Frank Martin, obviously a Final Four coach. So that doesn't happen every year. And we're appreciative of Frank, playing that. We'd love to play all the teams locally, especially I think we have a good enough product and a good enough arena where I'd like to see more of the Atlantic 10 teams in the region play us home and home. We used to have a lot of those with those teams from Philly down to Northern Virginia and obviously terrific programs. I think it'd just be good for the area to get those guys back doing home and homes with Towson.
I totally agree. I've always wanted like a little DMV event, maybe at the Verizon Center or the Chicken Box, even at CQ Arena. That's probably the best arena in Baltimore right now. But lastly, I know it's still early on in practices. You completed 4 or 5 weeks. What have you seen out of everyone else? I know Charles is stretching his game out. You said that Chase Parr's playing. He's doing full court 3, 4 times already. Just talk about how great it is to see everyone back and what you've been seeing out of the boys.
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, Charlie's had a tremendous offseason. Chase has finally gone full contact. He's lost a lot of weight. Christian May will be a key guy for us. When you walk in the gym, he kind of can pop off the page, and we're going to need him to be really good. I've been very happy with Rodier Hicks, how good he looks. Him and Dylan Williamson going to give us some speed and some playmaking ability. Tyler Coleman, I talked to him about earlier, off the air with him earlier, how he's changed his body. He's absolutely going to be in the mix for minutes. And we like our freshmen. Tyler Tejada, Kai Lowry, Jaden Cole, they're all improving their bodies and learning, terminology, and especially on the defensive side of the floor. But what I will say is they're all incredibly long and have game on offense with length, athleticism. So, kudos to our staff and finding those guys and signing them early as we get ready to go out here in July here this week. It's the same thing. We've always prided ourselves on finding some good high school players and developing them. The Charlie Thompsons and the Nick Timberlakes and the Gibsons, and even going back with the Mike Morcells and Justin Gorhams and Zane Martins of the world. So, we're on the lookout. We've had some guys up that we think can be the next guys like that, and we're excited to hopefully have some success with that.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach Skerry, I appreciate you taking some of your time out of this 5th of July and speaking with me. You have a great rest of your day.
I think you're up north. Make sure you get some good lobster.
I did yesterday, and I'll have some more today. You know it.
All right, brother. You be good. Always good to catch up.
You too.